Welcome to the Cemetery Gates podcast, featuring Xander Kane and Android Virus. Back to Cemetery Gates podcast, Halloween 2020 Volume 4. Is
Volume
that what it
4.
is?
Yeah, we made it.
Right. That's right.
And relatively early. Normally, this show might actually get posted before Halloween.
It will get posted on Halloween Day.
Well, how about that? A little special annoyance for your inbox.
That's right. Take that to the bank. I still got to put out the other show, but that'll be put up tomorrow. But hey, I'm Android Virus, always joined by my illustrious co-host, Mr. Xander Kane.
Hey, that's me.
Hi. And back with us, back with the vengeance from the Great White North, the Canadian firecracker herself, Miss Heather Powell.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me. Which midget films are we covering tonight? That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah, we're going to cover Sinful Dwarf and its 11 sequels.
Excellent. I can't wait.
And somebody's going to be like, there's 11 sequels to Sinful Dwarf? No, there's not. There's one Sinful Dwarf.
And then my mind automatically goes to like...
Burial Ground?
No, it didn't even go to that. It went to like...
movie ever.
I think there might be less than 30 midget porns ever.
Oh, man, that's not fair. That's not a lot of variety to choose from.
Well, did you see that Bridget, is she in jail now? Did she get arrested?
She got arrested. She's looking at doing a little time.
She stabbed her boyfriend
in the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she stabbed her boyfriend. Do you know who Bridget the Midget is, Heather?
No, but she sounds angry.
Like an angry dwarf. So she
was she started on the Stern Show? Is that where she got famous to begin with?
I don't know where she got famous. She's definitely
I feel like that's where I heard. That's how I found it, was through Howard Stern. And then she's always popping up in the news and random things.
Yeah, she's a little person and she's cute in the face. She doesn't have like that dwarf looking face, but the rest of her she's actually not bad. She's just a little person, you know. I mean, there's some little people that are okay looking, I think, in my opinion, but hey, I'm a weird dude. What can I say? Did I just admit that on the podcast that I think some midgets are hot?
Wrong podcast, Android.
Sorry. It's bleeding over. Sorry. All right, guys. So we're gonna get cracking to this. This is Volume 4 in our Halloween 31 Days of Halloween Horror Challenge, where Xander and I, every Halloween, select movies that we had never seen before. We usually, just kind of pick some type of weird gimmick. This year for me, it was 1970s horror films that I had never seen. Xander just went all over the place with international. Yeah. And we're looking forward to seeing what Heather brings to the plate tonight, or the table. And we had Miss Mona on for a couple of episodes, and she threw a little wrench in there, just movies she had never seen before. And then she also threw a really cool wrench at us and did a series. She did
two seasons.
2 seasons in 2 days. Castle Rock. So, yeah, she definitely she did good with that one. So that always changes up the game. So tonight we're going to be covering movies 24 through 31 on my respective list, and then Xander will do his, and we're going to kind of go a couple movies at a time. So I'll go ahead and start off, and then after Xander, obviously, will be Miss Heather, the Canadian firecracker Powell. Sorry, I just had to. You're not going to live it down, you know that,
That's okay.
Right?
I like it.
Oh, good. Good. All right, guys. So up first for me, I'm starting with the year 1977, and again, this was I just picked a list and movies I had never seen, and I went for it. I didn't even cheat, no turning it off if I didn't even like it. I just did it.
Which at this point in the game is really tempting, right? Like,
yeah,
you're like, ooh.
Well, you know what? Looking at my list here, there was just maybe a few movies that I got that feeling with. But this first movie, I'm gonna go ahead and say I enjoyed it in a weird way. 1977's Whiskey Mountain. Don't know if any of you guys ever heard of this.
You sent me the poster, and I was like, that looks like a Western novel cover.
Yes. So, starring...
That may or may not be erotic.
Well, yeah.
Ooh, I'm looking this up now.
So, Christopher George, this guy is in so many movies. He is slowly becoming one of my favorite actors. He's passed away, long since passed away, but he was in Enter the Ninja. He was in Mortuary. He was in just a lot of stuff, man. I think he was in City of the Living Dead. I mean, he's in a plethora of movies. But anyways, Christopher George, God rest his soul. Basically, it's about it's kind of weird. It was we talked about Race with the Devil. It's kind of Race with the Devilish a little bit, but not. So basically, it follows the story of a couple, pair couples. One of the girls, they're married couples. One of the girls, dad or grandfather, leaves her a treasure map for buried muskets. That could, the buried muskets from the Civil War.
They were in very good shape.
Yes, from the Civil War. They even go to the pawn shop, and the guy's like, "I'll give you 1,000 for them if they're graded." It's really cool. So they're on a treasure hunt in the wilderness in the Whiskey Mountains. So maybe West Virginia, something like that. I'm not sure. So they kind of are looking for a guide, or not a guide, but like a map. Some guys, they kind of go to like this little outpost before they head into the mountains, make sure they're heading the right area. The two ladies are sitting in the car. They get kind of ogled at and oogled at by a pair of hillbillies. So it's a little Deliverance, kind of like I would say kind of a little bit of a Deliverance ripoff in that fashion. But these hillbillies in this movie act like hillbillies, not like just caricature hillbillies. You know what I mean? Like pretty bad. The acting's kind of funky. But anyways, they start getting fucked with as they're camping. The field gets set on fire. They're just finding trouble along the way, and these hillbillies are just kind of setting traps for them along the way. They finally make it to their destination, which is a cave, and they find just a crop of marijuana plants, and they essentially just kind of get accosted and kidnapped by the hillbillies, and they're like, "You fucked our operation up. You fucked our operation up." And they're like, "Dude, we're not even looking for your weed. We're looking for muskets." And there's like, "God damn it! Why didn't you tell me that earlier? Now I have to kill you because you're gonna tell the cops." So basically, the dudes escape without the women, and the women are kidnapped by the men, and they get raped. But it's a weird rape scene where they're getting pictures taken of them with like Polaroids, and Polaroids are just kind of falling out, and like every picture is like they're screaming faces, or they're in a bra, or they're in their underwear, but they get raped basically. And so the men finally make it back and get the justice done. There's casualties on both sides. I don't want to give away the whole thing, but it's not a very happy ending, or a perceived happy ending. But Whiskey Mountain, I wish there was a really good release on this. This is on YouTube for free. It's a mess. I did my best to watch it. Not a very good transfer. Probably a really old VHS. It's a hillbilly exploitation film. And which is a subgenre, which I found out watching this. Yeah. So for me, man, a solid 3 out of 5. Hillbillies, rape, murder. Not a happy ending. I think it might be a little bit higher if I got a better copy of it, but 3 out of 5. So there's that. Whiskey Mountain, and it's like an action adventure horror movie because there are a lot of horror elements in it. So check it out if you guys can. It's a fun little watch. My next watch was an loosely based H.G. Wells film called Empire of the Ants from 1977. This is a science fiction horror film. And it's, again, very loosely based on the 1905 novel by H.G. Wells, Empire of the Ants. And basically, the movie's about a group of prospective land buyers, led by a land developer played by Joan Collins, who is basically ripping these people off. She's selling them a bill of goods.
she always plays a bitch. It seems
she
like
does. She
does it well. I mean, there's a reason she's always cast.
She's a complete scam artist. She hires these dudes to put up like a fake sign, like "Your new future's here," and she's just selling them shit land. You know what I mean? Like, it's awful, and she's just trying to do that. And then you get the forebode, and then you get like the typical casting call of like the sleazy guy with his wife cheating on her, and the good dude, the cool couples, the old couple, the young couple. You get a whole plethora of those types of people, and then you get the foreboding, the ants eating some washed up toxic waste barrel from the ocean, and
guess what?
What happened?
What happened?
Yeah, so as they're checking out the land, people are getting attacked by giant ants, and they're kind of having to make their way through the Florida Everglades, and people are getting picked off one by one. And they have some okay gags in here with giant ants that you could see. Maybe they just had enough money to build the heads and the claws and the antennas.
Well, it's the heads and then like somebody's hands and gloves.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
there's a whole slew of these like 60s through 70s like giant bug movies. Like they're all over the place. I think most of them are enjoyable. And I like them just because they kind of represent like just a certain era of cinema that I think is pretty cool. So
yeah, it's cool. And then they got some really shoddy green screen where the actors are like, hitting like with sticks and wood and their oars that they're rowing the boat with. They're hitting the ants, but they're real ants, but like a green screen real ants. So they have those really cool funky effects. But basically, what it ends up is there's a queen ant. And somehow she is using her pheromones and has the entire town under her control.
Sounds like a smart woman.
Yeah, the queen ant. And she is controlling the entire town to work for her. This
That's
queen
like me
ant.
in Canada.
That's right. And the survivors managed to, and she's holed up in the sugar factory down there.
Oh man.
Yeah, so she's like a pig in shit, man. She's holed up in the sugar factory, controlling the town with her pheromones, and you get a couple survivors, and they end up blowing up the sugar factory, and they leave the island by speedboat. So that's kind of how that works out. So not much to this movie. It's a giant monster film. Not a whole lot of brains behind it, but it's one of those things that you'd probably seen like maybe on a creature feature in the 70s on late night TV, something like that, possibly at a drive-in movie theater here or there. It's okay. It's a 2 out of 5 for me. It is what it is. Doesn't pretend to be anything great,
it's just like I said, it's just like a piece of time. Like you could have a little respect for it, but they're not all. I don't think any of them are like super amazing off the top of my head that I can think of. Most of them are just like, those were okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. It's fun.
And the more of them you watch, the more just because it's just like rinse and repeat. Like the same. Like I don't know how many of them start off the same damn way. Oh, this thing gets into something toxic.
Yeah.
Like it's 90% of the same plot.
I'm finding that some movies, at least towards the late 70s, that I've been watching, that I just might have picked, are getting a little bit further away from the rape, because again, that was an ongoing theme of a lot of these 70s movies were like a lot of rape and like just weird like exploitation shit. And I didn't even look for exploitation films. Like I'm just like, it was just this running theme. And then I'm noticing towards the later 70s of these films, it's getting more towards this like environmental political, thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's it could just be
there
me.
was actually we did an episode on this on my podcast that I do, and it was in response to Rachel Carson's Silent Springs. There was a book that was released that talked about the toxins around that time, and then all these movies started coming right after that.
Nice. See, I'm on to something. There you
You
go.
are. You're a smart man.
So there you have it. All right, man. So that was my 24 and 25. I will pass the baton to you, Mr. Zanderkey.
Oh, I thought you were going to do 3.
Oh, I can.
It doesn't matter.
I want to take a hard break on this one because my next one, I'm still trying to make heads or tails of it. So.
All right, sounds good. So my first one is one that I've kind of avoided for a long time because of the style of movie it is. It's a found footage film, and I typically hate found footage films. Like, to me, there's only a handful that are worth watching. Most of them are just not my thing. I don't get to them, but I still go around and watch them and try because I'm a, benefit of the doubt. Got to keep trying it because there are some good ones. This one is Nori the Curse from 2005 from Japan, directed by Koji Shirasashi. And it's about a documentary filmmaker guy who's going and collecting all this footage, and he's trying to piece together these like paranormal instances and finds a running theme with a ghost or a demon called the Kagutaba. And it's just him going out and, just anything investigation journalist does. He goes around, he's knocking on doors, he finds, nobody seems to know what the hell this demon is, and eventually he finds somebody that knows, and then he finds out it's like just one very specific group of people in a very specific part out in the country are the only ones that deal with this particular demon. And so he gets a tape of like the actual ceremony, like for the god, and it like, weird shit happens, and he finds out one of the ladies that had watched the tape went crazy, and so he's trying to find her. And then he also backtrack, I fucked that up, my bad. He actually finds a psychic girl that is on like a television thing, and has like psychic powers, and a part of this demon ritual, they need a girl that can like see to the other side. And so when he tries to find this girl, she winds up getting kidnapped, and then the whole movie is him just trying to find this girl and find out about this demon. But holy fucking hell, it just keeps you intrigued the whole time. And the image, you don't get much, it just gives you like these little slivers every so often just to keep feeding you and keep you interested. And like, it's pieced together pretty well. The biggest problem I had with it was, so there is like Japanese subtitles on it, and then the American subtitles are right on top of them.
Yeah, it makes it hard to read.
And it only happens a couple times. Like, it happens when they show some footage of the psychic girl like doing drawings and stuff like that, so it gets a little hard to read in a few sections. What the fuck was that? Cool, something just fell. It's the Kadugabwa. The demon's here, guys.
Hey, came to see you. It was so happy you watched the movie.
Oh, dude, we just caught some paranormal activity on our podcast.
I really don't know what that was.
You fucked up. You were summoning a Japanese demon, and you fucked up.
Pissed her off. Yeah, but so there's the backstory in this demon is like this demon, they bring like fetuses to the demon as sacrifices. And it's just like super fucked up and super spooky. Like, it's spooky as shit. And I can't recommend it enough. It's wonderful. Like, honestly, it's probably in my top. It probably is my top found footage film at this point.
Really?
It was just really, really great. I'm glad I waited so long to see it, because I probably wouldn't have appreciated it as much when it came out, because there was such a flurry of those type of movies at that time. But yeah, it's really great. And it's 5 out of 5 for me, Nori the Curse. But I will throw up a disclaimer. There is dead dogs in this movie.
Good to
Quite
know.
a bit of them. You don't actually see. It's just like a pile of them in a couple spots. But it's just a warning, trigger warning.
You
That
covered
bothers
your
anybody.
puppy's eyes, right?
She didn't watch that one movie, so she was good.
Good. I don't
She
want her
was very
getting
good.
upset.
But yeah, Nor the Curse is fantastic. It's on Shudder. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. So
I'm gonna check it out. I love
Yeah.
Japanese films. They don't hold back, and they will linger when it's uncomfortable.
yeah, it just makes you. I don't know. Like this was one that just like made me think about it. Like I still think about it and it creeps me out. God damn.
Oh shit.
Wow,
Like
that's cool.
the final image that you see, you're like, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
It stuck with you, sir.
It did.
There
And
you
then
go.
up next is Triangle from 2009, and this takes a play on like, all right, the name of the movie hints like at the Bermuda Triangle. You know, we all know the mysteries behind the Bermuda Triangle, like you get lost and stuck in a loop or whatever all the theories are. You know, so right from the beginning, you know that you're going to kind of get this kind of weird story, and you kind of have to suspend all disbelief. You know what I mean? Like if you don't accept there's going to be like these weird things happen in this film, you're just not going to have a good time with it because obviously it's no way in shape or form going to make any fucking sense. But this one, they go out on this one lady who has a autistic child, and she's dating a guy or friends with a guy. She's a waitress, and he invites her out like on his yacht, and she shows up on his yacht with his other groups of friends, and she's like super out of it and like just. I don't know, she just seems upset about something. You don't really know what it is. So they get on the boat, start sailing. Everything's all good and dandy. Then I guess they slip into the triangle somehow, and a giant wave takes out their yacht or their sailboat. And so they have to, they're like hanging out on the capsized boat, wondering what the fuck to do. And lo and behold, here comes a giant ship. This is the second movie where I've had people that had to like commandeer a ship because their boat got destroyed. So they get on and they begin to find out that it is empty. There's no one there. And so they start going around looking for stuff, and like she's trying to piece things together. Somebody comes out and attacks them, and then she's on the run, and then basically I'll get picked off one by one. And I'm going to kind of spoil this movie, so heads up. Because it's really hard to talk about if I don't tell you what the fuck's going on. You're like, oh, it's a pretty stupid movie, Dave. Thanks for sharing with us. But they get on there, and like, so what happens is the main girl winds up getting stuck in this like constant loop, and it's got this like butterfly effect thing. Like, so she'll try a different scenario to get off the boat, where she may have to kill this person or that person, or so she's got to basically try all these different ways to get off this boat. So it's like just a long series of her looping back around and slowly piecing it together. Some pretty cool gore in this, but it's not, I don't know, like it's good enough. I give it a 3 out of 5. It's better than average, but I could totally see why somebody would completely hate it. But I thought it was just kind of cool. I mean, like, once you just like, all right, we're a Bermuda Triangle shit, like, all logic and everything else is out the window. So as long as you're not, like, overly critical of it, I think it's still enjoyable.
I've seen it too, Xander.
Yeah, what did you think?
I thought the same thing you did. I thought the ending was, when you find out some backstory to her.
Yeah.
It was a good tie-in. I kind of give them credit for kind of having a different concept.
Yeah.
Like, it's something different. Like it's been done before on the ship and stuff, but when you find out what she's going back to,
right.
I think that's an interesting tie-in. I think your rating is fair too.
This is your second boat movie. What was the other the Nazi vampire one, right?
Yeah, Blood Vessel.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I like Blood Vessel a lot.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, I did enjoy Triangle. One of my friends was like, "You're just not watching that?" He was like, I've been pitching that movie to you for 10 years, and you're just not watching it.
There's so many.
Well, to me, I was like, to be fair, there was another movie with like almost the exact same storyline, except it involves sirens. And sirens, and it's just all like the same thing. And that movie sucked. So forgive me if I wasn't quick to jump on this one.
Yeah. Nice. All right, brother. So let's get up to Miss Heather.
Oh boy. So I kind of did a mixture of international and then just popular films that I hadn't had a chance to check out. So the first one I watched was Wreck, 2007. Have either one of you seen it?
I have.
Wow.
You've never seen it, Aaron?
No.
All right.
Well.
Android, you got to watch it.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
Google
you would dig it a lot.
Yeah, and Wreck is one of the good found footage ones.
Yes. Well, it's probably because it's not American.
It's Spanish, right?
Yeah, it's a Spanish film.
Yeah.
And there's the remake is called Quarantine.
Yeah.
Oh, Wreck. Duh.
Yeah.
I thought you were WRECK.
No, Wreck.
Yes.
Record. Yeah.
Oh, record. Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah.
You dumb American.
Oh, nice. You have seen it. Yay.
Yes, I've actually seen the whole series.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Oh,
how
nice.
the hell have you not? Because I thought you and I talked about 4 a long time ago.
Yeah, I've seen the whole goddamn series. So
Well,
yes,
I look forward to watching them because I thought the first one was just amazing. What I really respected about this movie is a 78-minute runtime, and it doesn't waste its time. They do a great job of building up. Basically, this camera crew is following a fire team or firefighters, and they go out on a call. So they do some great little character development leading up to it. You kind of learn what the reporter's all about and her cameraman, and you get to see the fun goings on of like the fire department and how they're all kind of boys that hang out together. And they go on this call and they get to this apartment building and nothing is the same. Within being in there within 5 minutes, they realize that people are very sick and they are quarantined and craziness results. I don't know, are we spoiling?
yeah, I think we're far removed.
Is that okay?
And I think sometimes we're like far enough removed from some movies that we can. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, no, this is 2000. So it's great. The characters that you get to meet. So there's some families. There's a gentleman who seems to be more of a thinks he's of an upper class that's there. There's some police officers that are stuck in there, and everyone keeps getting infected. The infection takes longer for some, shorter for others. A little girl gets infected and loses her shit, which is pretty fucking entertaining. And it's just filmed really well. The found footage piece of it, and then when they find out that it's a demon and they end up in the top apartment and they're doing all this research with the camera, like it's just really, really well done. And I really appreciate films that don't waste their time, that they use each scene to build on the story or build on the suspense. And there were some great jump scares. Like there was some shit that got me that I was coming, and I was working at the time, and I was like, bah! And that's a lot. Like, let's be real. When we watch horror movies all the time, 9 times out of 10, you can predict what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
The scene, because it's been a few. But the scene, I believe, from them either going down the stairs or up the stairs.
Yes, up the stairs, I think what you're... Like, when they go up to investigate?
Yeah, but they're getting attacked by every
Yes.
direction is fucking relentless.
Yes.
Like, it is... I remember that scene. I was just like, oh my God. Like, it was just... Yeah, I remember it does. Like, this is what a fucking haunted house is to me. This is a fucking horror movie.
Well, and they're demons. They're not zombies, right? Like, they're summoned evil, and the evil's infecting the whole building, and they're under quarantine, which also, really spoke to what we've experienced this year with being in quarantine, though nothing this extreme.
Yeah.
But still, it was just, really well done. Great Spanish film. I loved it, and I gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought
Beautiful.
that it was phenomenal. Yeah.
Well deserving.
The second one is The Cleansing Hour. Now, this is a 2020 film, so I won't spoil it because it's brand new and I really want people to watch it. It just got dropped on Shudder. It was on the independent circuit, so I'm sure... Sander, have you heard of this? Like, you're seeing me in the know. Yeah, see, yes, I knew it. So, I hate exorcism films because I just feel like they're overdone and they're not usually that good. But this is an exorcism film that I found was modern and amazing. The basic plot of it is that they have this fake TV show, these two buddies, where the one guy pretends to be a priest that, exorcise demons and shit. And they're doing this big show and something goes wrong. And this isn't a spoiler because it happens within the first 15 minutes. A demon shows up and the demon is jokes. Like, have either one of you seen this movie?
I've not seen it yet.
No, not at all.
And both of you will like this movie because the demon is scary, funny, creepy all at the same time. and very modern. It uses social media. The show is done through social media, so there's a social media message with it, and it's just the special effects, the practical effects of it, the build up to what's going to happen, and there's an end plan. This demon has a clear end plan, and it is not a happy ending. And it is a roller coaster ride from the beginning to the end. We're looking at about an 80-minute runtime. Yet again, doesn't overstay its welcome. Gets to the point, does what it needs to do. It's on Shudder, so anyone that has Shudder, it's accessible in Canada and the United States. Totally recommend checking it out. Great Halloween watch.
Nice. Awesome. I will watch it. Thank you. Very good. All right, guys. Moving along. My next film. All right. I'm going to try to make heads or tails of this. Blue Sunshine, 1977. Has anybody seen or 1978?
No, I'm Googling it, though.
Has anybody heard of Blue Sunshine?
I've heard of it, and it's slightly notorious in some circles.
Yes, it's... This is a blind pick. I just said, I looked at the cover, said, I'll check it out. And so basically it's directed by Jeff Lieberman, who's responsible for Squirm and Just Before Dawn. I will preface this movie by saying, if you were the guy, Cronenberg, if you're a Cronenberg fan, this is right down your alley. Essentially, this movie starts. It basically, there's a series of random murders going on throughout this movie in Los Angeles, which are loosely linked to a bad batch of LSD that had been taken years prior by some people that were possibly in a college program, getting paid to test this LSD out. So essentially, the movie kind of starts off with this guy. He's at a party with a bunch of his friends. They're having a good time, singing songs, having a few drinks, smoking some cigarettes, and one of his buddies tries to kind of kiss his girlfriend playfully, and he goes to kind of yank the top of his hair a little bit, and his hair completely falls off like a wig, and after that, his pupils are all black and huge, if you took acid, and his hair's missing, and he has a psychotic break, and he kills people at the party. And his friend chases him out into the street. The dude gets killed by a fucking car, but the guy who's chasing him out into the street gets accused of it. And so the movie's basically of him. He's kind of on the lam, and he's trying to gather information to help his innocence. You know what I mean? And he has a couple of friends helping him out. And throughout the movie, they're learning about other, mass murders by people who have just immediately had gone bald and looked psychotic and just killed people. And what they're finding out through the movie is that, a group of college students took this acid, this LSD called Blue Sunshine. And, the guy who was dealing it to them is, all these years later, he's now a respected politician, and he's going into Congress. So the dude's trying to track him down. Hey, what's going on? He tracks the dude's wife down, and there's a very spooky scene where he tracks the congressman's his wife is, they're not together, but they're not, but she's babysitting, and the little girl's playing with the babysitter's hair, which is the congressman's ex-wife, and her hair falls out, and the lady, all of her hair falls out, and she's bald, and she's getting ready to stab the kids, and it's fucking spooky. And the guy pushes her out the window. He's blamed for her murder. He's just trying to piece this all together. He's this one-man detective, but he's also a fugitive. He knows what's going on. Nobody else does. And it kind of ends up with, the bodyguard of the congressman at the end of the movie. He's taken a lot of Blue Sunshine in the past. He's going on a murder spree in the mall. There's not really an ending to this. It's really weird. It ends with the guy standing over the bodyguard, and then you have the screen pop up that says extensive chromosomic abbreviations and confirmed to sanitarium that 255 doses of Blue Sunshine are still unaccounted for, and then it ends. So there's not really an ending to it. It's a trip, but it's fucking out there. It's a notorious film. It got a beautiful hardcover release on a DVD Blu-ray with some beautiful artwork.
Yeah, the artwork is great on that.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. It's a good watch. You can find it on Amazon. It's a trip. It's a trip.
It sounds
Again,
like a trip.
it's a very Cronenbergian type of film.
It sounds like a very realistic horror, right? Like it's trying to play off of issues in society and very societal based. I like it. I'll totally watch it.
So for me, Blue Sunshine, straight the fuck up, got a 4.5 out of 5.
Nice.
Really good. Check it out. You guys might like it. This next movie, I didn't think I was going to enjoy, but I really enjoyed, and I didn't take the time because I could have done this and kind of bookended the end of our month. But I watched a shit ton of PG horror this month with this list that I did, and a shit ton fucking straight to TV.
Yeah.
TV horror. So this one I really enjoyed, which was Devil Dog. Do you guys ever heard of this one?
Nope, Googling it right now though.
How about you, Mr. Sid?
I feel like I know it.
Devil Dog, The Hound from Hell.
Yeah, it's a television film.
Yeah, 1978.
Yep.
Yep, there you go. So I love the shit out of this movie. It was really fucking cool, as corny as it was, and it was a really spooky, man, for what it was for a straight to television CBS film. So basically, the movie starts off with these people, which are Satanists, because they all have dark hair and wear black clothes and trench coats and are well-to-do and driving a nice car, go and get a German Shepherd from the pound they buy, or from a breeder, a beautiful German Shepherd. They do a Satanist ritual around this dog, and basically whatever bad intentions they put into the dog, and then they get the dog bred, right? And the dog's going to have puppies that are all Satan puppies. Okay? As stupid as it sounds, it's actually really cool. So it's cool because it's like a setup of how like the cult works, right? So you fast forward to a family. Richard Crenna's the dad, got a wife, they got 2 kids, a daughter and a son, who are like, possibly like, middle school to high school. And, they're both professionals, really good house. And they find their dog run over in the street, which I think, possibly the Satanists did this. And then as the girl, because it was the girl's birthday, she's crying outside with her brother. This man drives up and he's selling fruit, because I guess this is what people could sell fruit out of the back of their truck back in the 70s. Just drive up. Hey, you want some apples? So he offers the little kid like an apple, which is like the forbidden thing, like, hey,
right,
for the forbidden apple. And they look in the back of the truck and he goes like, oh, they're like, look at those dogs. Like, she's obviously in mourning because her dog died. He's like, I think that dog likes you. And they gives her a little German Shepherd. And right away, this little fucking German Shepherd, the other dogs don't like him. His eyes glow. The maid of the house, the Spanish Mexican ladies, I don't like that dog, mister. He gives me bad, gives me bad vibes. Somehow, some way, her arm miraculously catches on fire. She dies, but it's all implied, right? Like, you don't really see it. It's made for TV. And, a year later, the dog, he's slowly possessing the mom, the little kids. But Richard Crenna, like the patriarch of the family, is the only one who's like, okay, there's something weird going on here. And this devil dog, man, he's possessing the family. The kids are acting weird. There's a guy that dies in it. I'm not giving too much away about the movie. When the dog appears to him, it appears through fog. His French doors open in his bedroom. Yeah, his French doors open in the bedroom, and like it's this like camera of the dog, and he's like giant. Well, like it's like green screen, right? But the dog is like 5 times bigger than what a German Shepherd should be. But it's a real German Shepherd. And basically, what they did is they put like devil horns on him and like a boa, like a feather boa, like a black. That's what it looks like to me, right? So he's this devil dog, and the dude freaks out, runs out on the street, and gets hit. And then the kids and the mom and the kids are completely, they're being taken over. This dog's like, just taking them over, and they have this really cool picture of Satan drawn, which is out of blood, which is really cool. But Richard Crenna, he's got to go to South America to learn about how to defeat the devil dog, and he comes back and he saves the family. And it's such a fun movie, man. It's a made-for-TV, again, 1978 devil dog movie, CBS. It's just a goddamn fun watch, man. I don't know. I don't want to give too much away about it, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it. That's all I can say, man. A good 4 out of 5 for me on this one.
I'll watch it.
Did the twins watch it with you?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
It seemed like something they
sounds
might have
better
been
than
interested in.
Cujo. Unpopular opinion. I don't think Cujo is that scary. I just like the dog in the entire thing.
Other than like, there's some shoddy like
he's misunderstood.
I'm just like, who's a puppy?
There's like, that's what took it the 4 out of 5 for me, was like the kind of some of the shoddy effects in it. Like they had some really bad green screen, but like they had some pretty cool stuff in it, man. Again, it's just a fun movie, man. You guys got to check it out if you get a chance to. So, yeah, the Devil Dog,
Devil Dog,
The Hound of Hell. It's a great film. So 4 out of 5.
Nice.
And then, yeah, cool. And I'll go ahead and pass it on to you, brother.
Well, all right. Up next for me is a film I've been trying to watch for a long time and never ever have tracked down a physical copy. And it's I still don't have a physical copy, but I did watch Martin from 1977 from George Romero, which is George Romero's stab at a vampire flick. So the story here is Martin is this, well, you think he's a kid at the beginning of the movie who is like on a train headed somewhere, and he's like super awkward everybody he comes in contact with. He's always like trying to hide his face, and he just eyes this one particular girl and like figures out that she's alone, and so he's kind of seeing where she goes. And then as the night goes on, the woman retires to her room, and Martin comes in her room, and he proceeds to, what you think he's going to do is go in there and rape her, like, most movies from the 70s, like we had already discussed, right? But he's just standing there with like a needle in his hand, and he's just telling her to be quiet. It's better when you're asleep. So you still think he's kind of going to rape her. But then he just injects her with the needle, and she eventually falls asleep. And then they both he strips down naked, and he strips her down, and he lays on top of her, doesn't rape her, but like slits her wrist and drinks her blood.
Oh.
And he slits the wrist straight down, so it looks like suicide. It's done with like a razor blade. So he tries to set it up and clean it up like as a suicide before he leaves. He gathers up all of his shit, and he makes his way out and winds up getting to meet his uncle in Pittsburgh, who is basically drags him to the house, like is kind of an asshole to him the whole time, and like lays down all these rules. He's like, my granddaughter lives here, you will not speak to her, she will speak to you. Like he's just being a super asshole about it. And then there's like these really weird scenes where the uncle is like, he's like called him Nosferatu because he knows what Martin is, right? And like at first it's not all the cards aren't on the table. You don't really know what's going on because Martin doesn't like protrude teeth at the beginning. He doesn't do anything. Garlic does nothing to him. Crosses don't do anything to him. Like nothing does anything to him. And the whole idea is that Martin is just cursed. And this guy's family, there's generations of people that are just cursed with this like bloodlust.
Mm.
So
it's like my wife.
And
my wife and her mom, and trying to think of other people.
So you're just
her grandma.
For goodness sakes, I'm on the call, Android. Don't be talking about me when I'm here.
How rude. But then like Martin finally like confesses. There's like a weird late night hour radio show, like where all the weird shit has like weird call-in guests and stuff like that, and he calls in and starts being interviewed by the radio DJ, and they start calling him Count, and he talks about like how how he's feeding, and he basically confesses almost everything to this like radio guy, and that's how the rest of the movie like unfolds until the end. But I didn't really know what to expect from this movie because I knew a lot of people really love it.
George Romero, right?
Yeah, George Romero, and there are releases of it. They're just hard to find. Like Arrow released it. I think Arrow's the only one that released a Blu-ray, but I believe it's all out of print and was never released in Region 1. It's like only Region 2. So it's not the easiest film to get your hands on, and you often think like, well, if you can't, it's Romero. Why the fuck isn't it out? Like, how shitty is this movie? You know what I mean?
Well, can I ask you a question about this movie? Doesn't he don fake teeth in it?
He does.
Okay.
So he does it. There's a particular scene where he is confronted with his uncle, who's basically a vampire. I don't know, a really shitty vampire hunter who has a vampire in his family and he won't kill him. I don't. He lives in his house and works at his like grocery store.
Yeah.
But, he goes to like attack his uncle, and he's like, he keeps telling him it's a curse, and so he puts the fake teeth in and to go bite him, and then like pulls them out, and he's like, it's a curse. It's weird, like super overly emotional. Martin's a very interesting character, and I think that the actor did a fantastic job playing this like really weird character on screen. Like just the way he delivered every line, the way he moved, like it all made sense within the context of the film. And I liked the shit out of it. It was a little slow from time to time, not as gory as I would like for a vampire movie, but it was definitely an incredibly interesting angle to take in 1977. So kudos to that. So Martin, for me, gets 3.5 out of 5.
Nice.
I think it could easily jump up a point if a few things had gone a different way, but it's still at 3.5 out of 5. It's pretty solid. So
I will say that that will be the first of our second reviewed movies, and I don't know what Heather has, but of weird take on vampire, because I got one too. So
I have one as well.
Oh, look at that. And when I say that about my wife, I mean that with all seriousness. I just told her, I put you guys on mute and told her what I said about her, and she's like, "It's true, it's true." She has a genetic disorder. You guys can Google it later, called Osler-Weber-Rendu syndrome. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
Sounds like a baseball mitt.
Yeah, Osler-Weber-Rendu syndrome. And so HHT, that's what she just says.
Hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasia.
There you go. You heard her. So so basically what it is her blood vessels in her body are malformed. And they bleed inside of her body. And it could show up in different places in different people who have this genetic disorder. Her mom had it in her brain. Her mom had a stroke. Her grandma was severely anemic. Rachel has hers in her GI tract. So she bleeds, and you can't stop the bleeding. There's no cure for it. So the only thing that she can do, so it causes anemia, the only thing that she can do is every 2 to 3 weeks, she has to get iron infusions to help with the anemia. So she goes every 2 to 3 weeks to get iron intravenously injected. But she prefers blood, because when she gets blood, it peps her up. Her cheeks get red. She's like, has so much energy. Yeah. So it's like a real life vampire fucking disease.
Ooh, wow.
Your wife is so cool. Every time you talk about her, she just moves up in coolness.
Oh yeah.
Like she really does. Like
we did have a good
podcast with Rachel moving forward.
You could, yeah. We did have a good screaming match Saturday, I'll tell you that. But hey, what married couple doesn't every now and then?
Yeah,
I don't know. I have some friends who are like, we don't ever fight. And
yeah,
I'm
they're lying.
I was like, what? I was like, dude, we were straight screaming at each other. Why are you? Just fucking. It was insane. It was great. But anyways, we need to do that. All right. Sorry to step on you.
No problem.
On to your next film, my friend.
Yeah. Shit. What was my? Oh shit. Yeah. So this one was. I just found it on Amazon, or I found it on Amazon. I don't remember what I was looking for something else, and I had happened across it, and I've never heard of it, never seen it, and the poster looked goofy as shit, so I was like, let's do this one. And this is 1973's Warlock Moon, which is, it's kind of, it has lots of elements of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes a little bit. So it's this young couple, and they go to, I guess, university, their college or whatever, and the lead guy and her wind up in a car driving somewhere, and they find this like old house, and they decide to get out and explore it because they think they're abandoned, and they kind of don't know exactly where they are. So they're like, well, someone's there, maybe they can point us in the right direction. And so they go in the house, and they're being, silly young kids, young lovers, just going through this house. And then finally this old lady pops up like, what the hell are you doing here? And like scares the shit out of them. And she's like this sweet little old lady that's like, you can't tell if she's gonna like bake your cookies or slit your throat. Like she's just like the perfect balance of like sweet and sinister, right? And so they talk to her, and she asks that gives them on a tour around the house and all this other, and just tells the history of the house and all these other, just weird stories about her and different areas in the home. But so they eventually end their tea or whatever, and they leave and wind up coming back. They set up a time to come back later and like take pictures and all this stuff, right? And so they come back, and her boyfriend's going to take pictures, and then like just weird shit starts happening, right? She keeps seeing like this maniac looking Joe Spinell, white tank top wearing dude with an axe, just like coming in trying to kill her. And it's just it just always cuts away from the kills at the beginning. So as they're doing, as they're showing like all the scenes, every time they're about to kill somebody on screen, it cuts away. So I'm thinking, okay, this may be just like, okay, this is the way this movie's going to be the whole time. And then you slowly meet like the other members of the family, and they start killing other who else they kill? There's another reason another couple's there or something, and those people start dying, this and that, and you start unlearning this, or you start to learn about like this sacrificial, like Satanist, like cult thingy going on. So they need this girl to sacrifice her and to make it to the warlock moon. And at this point, you start to see some gore. You start to see some bodies, like piles of bodies and decapitated heads, and then you start seeing blood everywhere. Like, okay, now why did you cut away from all these simple kills at the beginning, and then at the end you start putting like, here's where you're putting your money. But it does pay off, and it does work within the film. It took me a while to get into it, but once it gets going, there's a huge like story reveal that happens in the second half. And for a movie that started off like kind of rocky, it winds up finishing really strong. And what I really liked about it is it does give off those Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, or even kind of Wrong Turn type vibes at times. And it's just like a hillbilly Satan worshiping family.
Yeah. Hey,
but it was really cool. And honestly, like, I would love to see this movie remade, because the story is I think the story's pretty well written, and like all it needed was just, if you just amped up a little more of the scenes at the beginning, you really could just, it would be awesome to have this remade. But I loved it. It was, excuse me, I burped. How rude of me. Very professional.
We're a professional podcast.
But Warlock Moon, even though it started so slow, I still give it 4 out of 5, because I wound up being like excited about it. I was like, this is a cool, weird, obscure flick I've never heard of, and it was just it was a fun ride. But I will say, it is a slow start. Some people probably hate it for that, but I thought it was cool as shit. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Once you can finally decide that you can invest yourself, like you're like, okay, I'm invested, we're in for this. Usually, I feel like shit does pay off. You know what I mean?
And I think in my mind I had already accepted early on. I was like, okay, we got like 4 cutaways. Everything's a cutaway. So like it really caught me off guard when it came back up. I was like, oh shit. Because I was like, this must be straight to TV. And I was like, oh no, it can't be straight for TV. They would never have shown that.
By the way, I love that poster that you sent me for it.
It's awesome.
There's a couple of really cool posters for this one, by the way.
Yeah, but I like it's on Amazon Prime, so that sounds like something you're into. Get down on it. I think it's a cool little obscure flick.
All right, Heather, balls in your court.
Well, I'm gonna, we're such a high note here with some really great films, and I'm gonna bring in a piece of shit that I watched. So I'm sure you gentlemen are aware of the Slender Man movie that came out in 2018. I had avoided it, and then I thought, Heather, it was, big story. Big story on creepypasta, and then the young ladies that tried to kill their friend, and said the Slender Man made them do it. In the United States, I can't remember where.
Of course it was.
Of course it wouldn't happen in Canada. But
Never.
Never. So I thought, you know what, Heather, give it a shot. And I'm sad I did. And it was a 93-minute runtime, which felt like double that, like 180 runtime. It's not even based on the legend. It starts off with 4 high school girls that kind of look like they want to be the Craft, but they're not the girls from the Craft. And they have a seance where they summon Slender Man. And of course, when you summon a ghost, demon, whatever the hell he's supposed to be, he's going to take you out one by one. But the scenes didn't make sense. I felt like they really tried to do an artistic, creepy approach and they tried to incorporate the drawings from creepypasta, but it just looks stupid. have either one of you seen it?
I saw it for the first time this year, and I did not
you know
like
what
it.
I'm talking about, Sander? Like, they tried to be like, oh, here's this creepy drawing on creepypasta, and now we're gonna shove it on this kid's face when they're about to make out. Like, do you get
it's I don't hold on, I know I wrote a little review for it. I'm trying to look it up because
it's like, this movie sucks, don't waste your time.
I never bothered. There's certain movies that, like, I'll get around to. Like, for me, I find that there's so much old shit that I still haven't seen. I mean, and I've seen a lot, but I mean, there's just so much stuff that before I even dive into the new, like, certain things that come out. Like, I've caught, like, La Llorona and fucking, what else, and I did say that right, guys. La Llorona.
We trust you. You would know.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Xander? That movie?
Oh yeah, there's like 4. There's actually a new one that popped up on Shudder.
The new one on Shudder is really good.
Yeah.
Do you like the way I say it, Heather?
Yes, I do.
La Llorona.
It makes it sexier. It was actually better than the movie. How you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some movies we'll catch, like La Llorona or Mother or whatever, some silly stuff like that.
Oh man, those movies are freaking Oscar movies compared to this one.
Oh, okay.
And I watched it simply because of the folklore, right? Like, it's been really popular, and I thought it can't be that bad. It has a 1.2 rating on Letterboxd.
It's like, there's no way it's that bad.
I want to confirm to all the listeners, it is that bad. And it hasn't, like, it's just not scary, and it's so predictable.
It's not at all, yeah.
Oh, I will say the filming was done well. Like, I think the filming crew did a pretty good job of filming things, which is pretty sad when you have to pull from that.
Yeah, it had money put behind it, which is even the more infuriating part about the whole thing. Like, this Slender Man was such a popular thing, and they actually put some money at it, and they made, like, an awful movie.
Yeah.
It's really, to me, like, it's fascinating how you can take a modern day story like that, an urban legend, and that was a quick turnaround. And every town has a weird urban legend into it. I mean, I know my town certainly does have a few urban legends.
Are you one of them?
No.
Not yet.
No, dude, there was this could be, but yeah, we had an urban legend that went through a few high school generations, and the dude ended up getting hit by a car and died, and it was all over the news. But yeah, it was an urban legend. It was this guy, they called him Crazy Larry, and I'm not bullshitting, this is a real story. I'll have to send you guys the article. That's
all right, we'll take your word for it.
Yeah, but Crazy Larry, the story was Crazy Larry was a crazy Vietnam vet, and if you drove in front of his house and yelled Crazy Larry, he would chase you in his car, and he had a souped up family station wagon with the V8 engine in it, and it was in fact true. And he had it, but somebody made it up, but it got to the point where people really were harassing him, and he really was putting cameras and spotlights in front of his house because people were driving up into his driveway, honking their horn, flashing their high beams, yelling "Crazy Larry," and he would chase you. I mean, the guy was sick and tired of being harassed. And I think I was an adult. I think my daughter was already a toddler, and it was on the news like, hey, this guy, a teenager, went in front of his house, yelled "Crazy Larry." He ran out into the street with his flashlight, and the kid ran him over. So it was like a real fucking story. It was insane. And the guy would chase you through the
That
park
would have
and
been a
shit.
better movie than Slender Man.
Yeah.
Are you sure does Crazy Larry have double as a horror host based out of Albuquerque?
No. Nope.
Are we sure about this?
Yes. There's only one horror host in Albuquerque. Hey, you could turn into Android Vision last Saturday of every month. So just kidding.
That's right. Which is better than Slender Man.
There you go. All right.
Wait, what did you give it, a 1?
Oh, I gave it a 1.5 because I thought the young lady, there was one young lady that was in it that was also in Ouija, and I thought she did okay. And I felt bad for the young girls because I feel like this is like the beginning of their acting career, and they
You're like, maybe you're like, let's get this 1.2 to a 1.5.
Yeah, I know, that's exactly what happened. I gave it a 1.5,
points at a time.
but I do not recommend it at all. Don't watch it.
Maybe one of them will have a Jennifer Aniston career because her first movie was what was it?
Leprechaun's gold.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is gold.
That's a better movie than this stuff.
The first time I ever, the first time I ever saw Leprechaun, I was a freshman in high school, and I was stoned to the gills. Like I'd smoked like 3 bowls with my friends outside, and we went into the movie theater and watched Leprechaun. That was my first experience of like watching Leprechaun, like being a freshman in high school, stoned out my fucking ass. It was great. It was like this. Yeah, so the guy was driving in the fucking car, like, what the fuck are we watching? It was great. So, all right, guys. Up next for me.
Heather.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Guys.
Calm down, Crazy Larry.
All right.
Crazy Larry.
I'm gonna send you guys good stuff. Go ahead.
So we're gonna jump from a real shit movie to a phenomenal movie, and Sander, I don't know if you've seen this. Andrew, I don't know if you've seen this, but this is a great vampire flick. It's an international film. It's called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Yes.
And it's on Shudder. Yeah. And it was recommended to me from another podcaster. And it's an Iranian ghost town, bad city, a place that reeks of death and loneliness. So it's a town that's basically desolated. And there's a couple of main characters, and there's a lonely vampire that walks the streets. And it's a very artistic film. It's filmed black and white. And,
noir.
Very noir, that's right. And she, not a lot of talking. It's actually not a dialogue-heavy film. It's more based on reactions and music and scenery, I found. And she develops a relationship with... and it's very interesting, this relationship they developed, more or less because she doesn't kill him when she finds him. One of the few people she does actually not kill. And their relationship grows, and you see this town and the people living in it, and they know that something's stalking them, but they don't know what it is. It's a very artsy film, but it's a very good film. But you do need to be focused when watching this. So this is not a film you can throw on and have it playing in the background. You actually need to be watching it because there's such minimal dialogue, even though it is subtitled as well. The expressions and the music and the setting, in my opinion, is what
that's what stuck out for me was just like the way the shots are framed in there. There's a few of them where they're like standing in front of his car in one particular scene. Like it just is done so damn well. Like
beautiful.
And I believe a woman directed it, correct?
Yes, it is, and it's the same actress that was in this year's The Rental.
Okay.
She's much better in this. In The Rental, she was atrociously annoying. But yeah, I strongly recommend it. It's a free watch on Shudder. Excellent international film. Excellent vampire film. I gave it a 5 out of 5 because I just thought it was so beautifully made. Like, it was just incredible.
And it was cool. It's cool when it catches you off guard too.
Yes.
Like everybody's go check out this Iranian vampire flick. You're like, okay, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh wow, this is cool. And I actually own Mondo released the soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh, nice.
I think they limited it to 500, and I have one. I'll send you pictures of it. It's awesome. I love the soundtrack. Fun fact about the soundtrack: actually scored for this movie. They just picked songs and put it on there, so there's no actual like scored pieces specifically. They filmed the movie and then found the songs.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you've seen it. Aaron, check it out when you get a chance.
Yeah, I haven't. I'd love to see it. It's been on my radar. But there's like movies like that. Baskin's another one that I haven't seen.
I still haven't gotten to that either.
Maybe that's something for a future show with Mr. Xander.
Yeah. It's Turkish, isn't it? That's a Turkish film. No.
Yeah, I've heard great things. I still haven't. Do you guys still haven't seen The Babadook?
I just saw that. I just saw it.
Hard pass. Hard pass. We're not doing a show on the Babadook. No.
Oh, interesting. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
No.
There's some good visuals in there, and I just don't. I didn't like the kid actor, and I didn't like the lead actor.
Oh, the kid was a lot.
Yeah,
oh,
he reminded me of the kid in the house by the cemetery.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
What was his name? Dan or whatever?
Bob, isn't it Bob? No.
Bob. It's Bob. I knew it was
Bob.
Bob or Dan or something like that.
Some stupid name.
All right, guys. Up next for me, it's going to be 1978's The Alien Factor. If anybody out there, or either one of you, are aware who producer, director, writer, Mr. Don Dohler is, you know what we're getting into when you Factor. Basically, it centers around a small town that has like 3 aliens that crash land into a nearby forest. The aliens are picking off town folk one by one, and they're all different aliens. There's like an energy alien. There's one that looks like a giant Bigfoot with a really cool fucking stilts on them. There's another alien that's kind of grotesque looking. There's another alien that is just like, I don't know, just weird mantis looking, and then some people in the town choose to fight back, and it's a throwback to a definitely low ass budget, like say like a 1950s alien film. And then like towards the end, one of the guys that's been helping him out throughout the whole movie trying to kill the aliens actually ended up being an alien himself. And so essentially what the story is a spaceship crashed in this town that was carrying zoological specimens of different aliens, and they escape in this town and just kind of wreak havoc on people. There's really not a lot to the story. That's it. A lot of nobodies in this movie. Essentially, very low budget, very put together. The cast is very, when I say very put together, like very, very choppy direction. The Don Dohler, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he is known for his super low budget films. Low budget.
We've done a film by a couple of films of his.
Night Beast, right?
Okay. Yeah. Night Beast.
He did Night Beast. He's such a fun guy, though. This one, the only takeaway for me, it's the budget is so low in this movie, and he looks like he got some like local yokels, possibly local stage actors from the local community theater. Like that's how bad it is. It's okay. It is what it is. Doesn't pretend like to be what it isn't. It's a science fiction horror film. There's definitely some good gore in it. The aliens you can't really see, but they're very Gwarish. Like Gwar.
Yeah.
Very like, I don't know if you know who Gwar is, Heather, but the rock band. But
I do not.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
stop the podcast. Go listen.
Stop the podcast. We're watching a Gwar video.
Yeah. So it's very like, just put together costumes, like hodgepodgey, probably some paper mache, very
some foam. Yeah.
Foam, very extremely low budget film, but from 1978. And then come to find out this movie was actually made in 1972 and sat on the shelf for fucking 6 years and was finally released in 1978. So it's pretty aged, but for it, for what it is, I know what I was getting into when I watched a Don Dohler film. It's a creature feature, aliens, just a really, dude, that's really what it is. It's no high budget here at all. The Alien Factor got a 2.5 out of 5 for me, just because it is what it is, So check that out. I would highly recommend, Heather, if you are going to dive into some Don Dohler stuff, Night Beast is great.
Yeah, that's definitely his flagship for sure.
Yeah.
Everything else is more along the lines of Alien Factor.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay.
Super low budget, Heather. I mean, like, really bad. So, so there you have it.
You've sold me.
Yeah. So, my next film, which, I mean, I've known about this since I was a little kid. I have just never gotten around to it. Don't know why, but 1979's Prophecy.
Yes.
Wow. Or I can't say enough about this. This might be one of my favorite movies for the month, but it's another science fiction horror film directed by John Frankenheimer, who's done a shit ton of stuff. Has Talia Shire in it, Adrian from Rambo. Bunch of different actors in it. Armand Assante plays a Native American in it.
Oh, I forgot he's in it.
Yeah. He just shoots some fucking arrows. Okay, so basically this kind of falls into what we were talking about earlier, Heather and Xander, about the environmental type of political film. And so this one was really cool for me because essentially it follows like an environmental agent and his wife, and they're basically filing a report on a paper mill in a river that is in a Native American reservation. And they're because the paper mill's waste are possibly obviously causing some toxic waste and some really bad shit to happen to this reservation. They're finding like a tadpole that's the size of a giant bullfrog, rabid raccoons, even like some of the natives. They're like, oh, they're just alcoholics, but no, they're being poisoned by the thing themselves, right? And then so it essentially kind of starts off with, because they find like workers from the paper mill that are completely slaughtered in the river. Oh my god, the gore is amazing in this film.
Yeah.
And they look like what I would, because I've seen like real crime scene shit. It almost looked like, I'm like, they did really good. Like these dudes are just strewn across the rocks, their lifeless bodies. And so essentially there's this mutated bear with like no fur, and his fucking lips are all peeled back almost like halfway through his snout. And he's fucking people up through this whole movie. I mean, he's just launching fuckers left and right, killing camps, causing chaos. And the creature effects and the animal effects in this movie are top notch for me. They did a really, really good job. You could tell this was the budget was a $12 million budget. So for 1979, that's pretty big. So they put a lot into the creature effects. The production value of this movie was up there. Don't want to get too much further into this movie, but there's definitely a lot of death, a lot of fucking death. The bear is awesome. He's just this giant fucking, when I say giant, he seems to be maybe 15 to 20 feet tall in the film, this mutated bear. And, the doctor and his wife and everybody are trying to fucking, and the natives have a name for the bear, and their whole thing is like, he's getting back. The Mother Earth is getting back at him, because of man's bullshit that he's doing to the earth. You know what I mean? So right. And then they find a couple of cubs, of the bear. They're little mutated fuckers as well. Don't want to give too much away about this movie, because I think if anybody who has not seen it needs to see it. I fucking love this. Solid 5 out of 5 for me. Don't know why I hadn't watched it before, but really fucking good. This might even be a future Android Vision show. That's how much I fucking liked it, guys. So there you have it, The Prophecy. Or just nice. Prophecy, sorry. So
just Prophecy?
Just Prophecy. Not The Prophecy, because people are going to go watch that Christopher Walken joint. So
hey, it's not bad. There's like 5 of those.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, him and what, I don't know who and fucking Harvey Keitel pissed off, but those guys did a slew of stinkers, So anyways, all right, go ahead, Xander.
All right, so up next for me is a 2020 film called Centigrade. This is
Ooh, I've seen
this is based off a true story and is loosely horror, like barely horror. However,
it's open water in the snow.
Yeah, so the story here is it's a husband and wife, and his wife is a author, and they're, for whatever reason, is traveling to Norway for a book signing for her. And they're driving in the car, and freezing rain gets really bad, and so they wind up just pulling over on this kind of country road and waiting for it to stop. And they both fall asleep in the car and wake up, and they are completely blocked in. Like, there's inches upon it. I mean, there's feet upon feet of snow. Like, you can't even see the roof of the car outside of the snow. They'll do these really cool, like, hovering shots over the vehicle. And to complicate things even more, the wife is pregnant. So they're just trapped in this car. And the whole thing is basically you see them, like, argue, it's a very small space. You're two people stuck in a car. And they wind up being stuck in this car together for weeks, and they're rationing their food, and they're pissing on blankets.
Did you not wonder how they were doing the other bodily function that they needed to do?
Well, they weren't eating enough, so it probably wasn't happening very often. But I mean, obviously, it was in the car.
I just found this movie. I'll wait till you're done. Sorry.
Yeah. So I guess the part of the horror to this is like, you're very incredibly closed space, right? And you don't know what's outside, and they don't have any clue. And it's basically them slowly going mad within the car, and eventually to the point of, like, hallucinating. And of course, the baby comes, right? And that adds a whole nother stress level into the film. But there is a great scene where the mother has to basically make a choice if she wants to live and help keep the baby alive. So she has to make a decision in the vehicle that is, she's doing it. Okay, cool. And yeah, that's just the whole movie. And it is based off a true story.
It's not a true. I researched it. It is actually not based off a true story.
Okay, I was like, they say that, and that's not the case half the time.
Based off of true events
that maybe possibly happened at one time to somebody. Maybe.
Maybe that wasn't an author.
Just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, man.
Yeah.
So I liked the people in the movie. I thought they both did good in their roles and roles that were written for them. But ultimately, like, for me, not enough happens in it. Like I said, it's like barely horror for me. I guess with the right person, this movie might be like terrifying, but it just didn't check that box for me. But I wouldn't say it was a bad movie at all. I'd say it's better than average. So Centigrade gets a 3 out of 5 from me. It was just okay.
Just all right.
But it was made. Well, I mean, they did good with what they had. So I mean, it's better than average film.
Right. Cool.
What did you think of the Heather?
I'm a little less generous than you, but I do agree with what you had to say. I think that it's a really well-made film. Yeah. I think I'm just so tired of people making stupid decisions and then them dragging out a movie about it. I think I'm just burnt out from Outback, and this was another fucking 2020 movie I watched about the same kind of concept, only in a desert. But I do agree that I think the relationship between the two of them was probably the best acting I've seen. For two people to, you probably would end up behaving like that eventually, was pretty accurate. But yeah, I think you're right. They worked with what they had. I agree. It wasn't really horror to me. It was more of a survival story.
Yeah. But one of my things I did like about the interaction between the two was there's a handful of times where the husband, like, backtracks. Mm-hmm. Like it gets really heated, and then he's like, he knows he fucked up, so he's trying to, like, calm himself and calm his words because he's got a pregnant, frantic wife in the back.
Yeah.
So I really thought I liked that interaction with him. That was one of the things that stuck for me. I just liked how he played that, or how that was written, how whatever Agreed. It was. That kept the movie interesting, because if those two don't hit a home run, the movie's nothing. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just not worth watching. But I thought they was pretty good, but still only a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
I wish it was. I didn't. My wife enjoyed it well enough, so it was
all
fine.
That matters.
Yeah. She watched one.
As long as she enjoyed it.
Yeah, she enjoyed it. Up next is a sequel to a slasher flick that came out in 2016, maybe. But this is its sequel, Redwood Massacre Annihilation, starring Danielle Harris and a few other random low-budget actors that you typically see in some of these other horror movies. But it's a sequel to a slasher film. And the killer is, I can't remember his fucking name. He's got like it's like the clove sack, he just got like it's not a potato sack, but it's just what the fuck is his name?
Sackhead.
No, it's not Sackhead, but it kind of looks like that.
Potato Sackhead.
Sure. But
We'll
that's kind of what it looks like. Yeah. But these group of people go back to like find this guy. Approaches the guy that was hunting it in the first one, and it's like, hey, I think I have a beat on where he is, and then gets the guy obsessed to like basically go out and go hunting. Very like what is it, Hatchet 2, where they go back out to kill Victor Crowley.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. Like they get this group of people together. Danielle Harris, her sister was killed. She plays the sister of one of the girls that was killed in the first one, and so she comes back with kind of a ragtag crew to come back and kill the killer. So to exact her revenge.
I'm the killer of killers.
Yeah, it's your typical, for the most part, your typical like slasher fanfare. You know, you get your good scythe kills in with him. There's a few interesting kind of turns that the film takes. There is necrophilia in it.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah. But it's pretty bloody, and it's like, to me, like, you know, there's a lot of really super shitty like slasher ones, and this one didn't like do anything crazy. It still typically kept to the formula. You know, you're out in the woods and you're offing people one by one, amp up the gore, a little bit of nudity, and you're good to go, right? So, you know, they do all those things.
Is it worth it? Do we get to see Danielle Harris nude?
Not in this one.
Son of a bitch! It's not even.
But she actually, this is honestly some of her best acting she's ever done is in this one.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it, and to me, like, you know, you have the big guys in your slasher movies, and like the only one to come out in the last 10 years has been Victor Crowley. And I don't see any reason that this particular series can't carry on another one. Like it was enjoyable. I mean, at this point, they're not going to do a ton of things that's really going to like, you know, break the mold or anything, but they're still fun. And I like the shit out of it. So Redwood Massacre Annihilation, I gave 3.5 out of 5. So
there you go.
And there's actually some really great like drone footage shots, like while they're out in the wilderness, that I thought was pretty rad.
Cool. Yeah. All right, man. Okay, Heather, you're up.
All right. Have you guys seen the ABCs of Death?
Yes. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow. 2012 film. It is the weirdest film I've ever watched. Which is saying, like, not weird, like, it's just random. You have a whole bunch of directors, and they weren't given any direction. They were just given a letter and said, make a short horror movie and short film or whatever. And some of them are really interesting or odd. There was one with a dog for a dog fight. Turns out the gentleman, it was his dog, and anyway that he's fighting. Really interesting one about masturbation. Mm-hmm. You guys know which one I'm talking about, where the guys have to masturbate and whoever ejaculates first doesn't die. I actually thought that was probably the best well done one. To be honest, I just thought the concept.
I would have won that.
You know what? I bet you would have. You still be there right now. Going.
Yeah, I probably would.
Right?
Yes.
Everyone would be dead, but you.
Mm-hmm. I would do it.
There was some interesting claymation. The T is for toilet, with the claymation and the toilet falling on the kid, and some comical ones with like two guys. They're gonna go shoot a duck, but then they shoot each other and they die instead. Yeah. And then the one where there's a chick that ODs, and her and her friend are doing drugs, and they're speeding in a car, and the Grim Reaper comes to take her, but it's actually just their mind. And she dies, and it flashes back to them ODing in this like shitty drug house. One scene that I was not prepared for, and I'll talk about it on this podcast, is there's a miscarriage one, and I've had a miscarriage.
Oh.
And I honestly they did nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong, but it was triggering for me. Like, it was upsetting for me.
Yeah, that's Ty West that did that one. Yeah.
Yes, and yet again, the director didn't do anything wrong. I'm not like, oh man, they should have put that on. Right. I just was surprised that they did it that way. Right.
I'm glad you told me that you had a miscarriage.
Oh, okay. So you won't make miscarriage jokes? Is that
yes, exactly.
Well, making a joke is one thing, but having, like, how this happens in the film was just, it was, it was tough if that's happened to you. That's all.
Sure.
But, yet again, that's no disrespect to the director or anything like that. It was just, that was the realm of it. It went from everything to very realistic horror, like having a miscarriage or ODing on drugs, to like shooting a duck or masturbation challenges or getting a piece of poo stuck on your heel and the poo killing you somehow. Like, it was the weirdest fucking bag of shit I've ever seen. I ended up giving it a 2.5 because I kind of liked half of them, and I felt like that was fair, but I'm not even going to bother with the sequel.
Xander hated this movie. I remember.
Yeah, I think I loved the idea is fantastic to me, right? I just thought that the
execution.
It's too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Like, ultimately,
it's just too weird.
There's too many cooks in the kitchen, so it's hard to make like a, I don't know.
It's like a short film anthology.
Right. I'd rather just have that. Give me 5 at a time. I don't need this many unwatchable ones.
And it just pulls your emotions every which way. One minute you're laughing, the next minute you're like, what the fuck's going on? The next minute you're like, oh, that's a little real. Next minute you're like, why is this happening? Like, it's so all over.
So heavy.
I think I remember from, like, even back, like, the Killer Review days, Xander, like, when it came out, you did not like it.
No, yeah, I did not like it at all.
From way back in the day, I remember.
Yeah, I have a hard time recommending it. I feel like I'm glad I watched it as being a horror fan, and I could say I've seen it, but that's about it. Like, I have zero interest in the sequel. Like, negative interest, actually, in the sequel. If that's even a thing. So the second movie is Eden Lake.
That's the one
2008 film.
Yeah, I call that the film where shitty kids do shitty things.
Yes. Yes, they're just a bunch of fucking assholes.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a play on youth violence.
Right.
Because
it's foreign as well, right? It's
Australian. And it's very much a social economic commentary as well. These two affluent people go out to this lake that this guy used to go to, and there's some kids there, and they're just being assholes, like over the top assholes. And things escalate between this couple and these kids, and people end up dying, and the ending is really fucked. Yes. I don't even want to give it away, because I feel like if you give anything away about that ending, you're going to be shocked. The acting is excellent. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, female. She's awesome in this movie. I can't remember her name. Yeah.
Awesome. And even her fiance, when he gets very injured, his behavior is believable. Like, how he behaves is very accurate. And the kids are pricks. Like, they're straight out. One of them is just a fucking psychopath. Yeah. And it's not a cheesy kid psychopath. Like, we're not talking about the good son here. We're talking, like, straight out, like...
The kids from Hostel.
Yes, like little fucking like
little fuckers.
Yeah, little fuckers. Like, Android, you would be like beating these kids up, shoving hot like red chilies down their throat. You know,
he's a green chili guy.
Well, I know, but the red chilies is what he's giving to the people he doesn't like.
There you go. So, he's eating the green chilies.
Right.
I like red chili myself too, but
you?
It just doesn't agree with my stomach. Yeah.
See,
we'll have to get into the whole thing. Red chili is green chili. Just it's
ripe.
It's ripe. Yeah, the red chili is like kind of green chili starts to turn like the leaf, like leaves turn, and they'll eventually get a red color. And when you eat so you can get the red chili and you make red chili out of it, which is like you can make your enchiladas with it and stuff like that. And it's sweet. It's a different flavor.
Have a food podcast.
We should. Oh my god! Don't even fucking get started.
But anyway,
do not get me started.
Worth it watching. Excellent foreign film. Very violent. If you like gore, if you like a little bit of a revenge film, but also be prepared for it not to end how you think it's going to end. And you'll dig it. And it's a little bit of a social commentary, but it's not. I didn't find it over the top. I found that it was a nice mix of social commentary and just a good, solid, fucking gory slasher flick. 5 out of 5.
Awesome.
Boom.
Yeah.
Check it out. All right, down to my last two films of the month. We're last two films, 1979. My next film is 1979's Nightwing.
K-N-I-G-H-T or
No,
N-I-G-H-T?
N-I-G-H-T.
Dark was.
Yes, Nightwing. 1979. Dare I say, Mr. Xander Kane, quite possibly our second Native American horror film.
Ooh.
My second film done in New Mexico.
Yeah. So the
Yep.
reason I asked what that was is because that's the second one on my Shadow of the Hawk Blu-ray twofer. Is Nightwing's the other one? So.
This Nightwing?
This Nightwing.
No way. No
Yeah.
shit. God damn.
Yeah. It's a Mill Creek release, so it's like stupid cheap. So if anybody wants Native American horror, it's like $8 for both of them.
And it's basically kind of in the same vein as like Jaws and the imitators that came after it, like Grizzly, Orca, Tentacles, The Pack, Piranha, Alligator, Great White, like all those Barracuda. You know, basically a deputy, which is funny. Nick Mancuso. I don't know if you guys know who that character actor is. Does play Native American in this movie, but he's a Hopi Indian reservation here in New Mexico. He's just investigating cattle mutilations. There's an ancient medicine man who helped him after his parents died, and reveals to him that he has woven a spell. Basically, it's kind of all over the place a little bit, but essentially what they're finding throughout the movie is, he finds the old man's bloodless body on the floor of his shack. And, a lot of the guys' flock is dead, but there also kind of goes into there's a tribal councilman who they discovered, which is not too far from what's going on here in New Mexico right now, a massive oil reserve in a mystical canyon, which is really what's going on right now in New Mexico. And they're trying to blow up, some of the caves in the canyon to get access to the oil, and sell it off to the biggest dealer or the biggest person who wants the oil. Yeah, biggest bidder. And so this guy, his faith and his tribal beliefs lead him to suspect, that there's a lot of undeaths going on, and it might be connected to his uncle's spell that he put on people. Then you have a British scientist show up, Mr. David Warner, kind of works with vampire bats, and these bats are basically spreading the bubonic plague through this area, and they attack people, kill people, drink their blood, and essentially, they're having to stop the bats basically, and they get into the bats lair and all that fun shit. So it's kind of like I said, that one of those weird social, I would say more environmental, political, and I only took it from that because that to me personally, on a personal level, that is what's kind of going on in New Mexico. We're a huge oil crop here in New Mexico, and it's a very political because you have a governor here who wants to go green, and then but oil's our biggest moneymaker here. So,
right.
Yeah, it's weird. But there's also we do have an Indian reservation here. It's called Chaco Canyon. Technically, it's very mystical, very ancient. It's beautiful the way it was built, and they're finding the closer and closer these oil people are trying to get, and this is real life, they're trying to get to this canyon, and there's been a lot of protests here in New Mexico, and don't disturb this fucking ancient land. We know there's oil underneath, but so it's pretty crazy. It kind of reminded me of this movie Art Imitated Real Life, you know what I mean? The movie itself's okay. It's a solid 2.5 out of 5. There's a lot of lulls in it for me. again, it's like your typical, 4A, rip off of whatever, those types of.
Was this a TV movie too?
I don't think so. It may have been. I don't think it was a TV movie. I don't think it was a TV movie. I mean, it could have been, but didn't. I'm looking it up now, and it doesn't look like it was a TV movie.
All right, cool.
So,
usually, IMDb's gotten good about posting TV movie on stuff these days. When you go in to click on it, it'll say TV movie.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you guys could check it out. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I got it on that disc. I'm gonna watch it because I really enjoyed. I know it's not as good as Shadow of the Moon, apparently, but that's fine.
It's all right. So, my last movie for the month, guys, 1979's Australian horror film Thirst. I'm not sure too aware of this film, but as I'm hearkening back to Xander's weird take on vampire films, and this is definitely a weird take on a vampire film because basically it's about this like kind of affluent rich chick, good job, awesome house, awesome boyfriend, love and life. Again, it's Australian. Gets kidnapped by a cult, and the cult are vampires, but they're not your typical vampire. They're like, they can walk in the sun, they eat, they drink, they kind of do normal things that humans do. They do like to feed on human blood. Their eyes glow red, but like they have camps and they have harvesting. They have camps all over like Australia. They have harvesting facilities that harvest blood out of humans. And these camps are kind of like work camps, but culty. It's really weird, man. And this girl, the star of the movie, really follows her story. They basically think she's a direct descendant of Elizabeth Bathory, and she's really refusing her lineage. She's refusing her rite of passage, and everybody worships her, and they're really patient with her,
But they're, on a certain level, they're like upset with her because any of them would be like to be, to be related to Bathory is like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, there's
like we worship, we worship this kind of lifestyle, and why don't you feel the way we do about it?
Yeah, she's like, dude, I just want to live my normal life. What the fuck? They're like kidnapped her, you know what I mean? And she's and it's very weird, like they're very culty, they're like an organization, none unlike, when you watch the later Blade movies, they're kind of woven into society and they're affluent people, and they have rituals and on altars, and they feed out of people, and they have to put these really cool fake gold teeth in, and it's a cool movie. It's weird. It's very avant-garde-ish. It's very art house-ish. But it's an awesome take on a vampire movie. I truly enjoyed the shit out of it. I mean, I think maybe some people may or may not be bored of it, but at the end of the movie, her lover, her man, the dude that she loves, they're like, they get him, and they're like, you can only feed on him. He's yours forever. And she's like, no, but she finally at the end of the movie just gets broken, man, and she's just like, I'm done. I submit. This is my life. Like I'll accept it.
Well, she just realizes she's not gonna escape this.
No, she's not.
You can't. Like, she's tried the whole movie, and then you just can't.
Right, and there's
like hopelessness.
And like throughout the whole movie, they're like shooting her up with drugs, and we don't know what's a hallucination from her and what's not. And
that was one of my favorite parts about the movie.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
Yeah, man. So check it out. Again, 1979's Thirst. A very interesting take on a vampire movie, and that's what I liked about it, because it's not your typical vampire film, but it is a vampire film, and I give huge kudos to it for having the balls to go outside of the box on that, especially in the 70s and 1979 when you have these rules, vampires can't go garlic, crosses, this, that, it broke all the vampire rules, and that's what I really liked about it. So I gave it a good solid 4 out of 5. It was a little long-winded in some parts, a lot of drama, but not a lot of gore, but a lot of blood. So I really enjoyed this movie, guys. So check it out. Beautifully shot, by the way.
Yeah, it's great.
Beautifully shot.
Back then, they weren't really making a ton of movies like that in Australia in the 70s. Like don't get me wrong, there's plenty of great Australian cinema, but like, I don't know, that was very, for me, I had never seen one quite like that one.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's why it's really good. So that wraps it up for me on my 31 days of horror, guys. But I'll let you guys. Thank you. Yeah,
you did it.
I did it. So, anyways,
I'm so proud of you.
You guys got a couple more apiece, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we're just gonna swing right into my next one. That's also a vampire flick. So this is like one of the classics that is considered a classic that I've never seen ever, and I finally got it in a set. And it's 1992's Innocent Blood, directed by John Landis.
Yeah.
So this movie is like the perfect blend of vampires, hookers, and gangsters in New York City. Even though it's shot in even though it came out in 92, like it still has a little bit of that 80s vibe to it. It's like it's not full-blown 90s just yet, so you still have that kind of gritty 80s New York look. But so you follow the main character, you follow her. She's in the city. She's a lonely vampire, and the very beginning of the movie, she's like looking out the window naked, talking about being a vampire, essentially, about how she just needs to feed and have sex, essentially, and that's it. That's like all she needs for life. And
sounds like my life.
Damn, autobiographical. And so she's in New York City, and they tie in like some mob stuff, and one of the guys that's in the mob is actually a plant for the police. And so this guy is in pretty tight with the mob, and then he also has a run-in with her, and they become like partners throughout the movie. And most of the movie is them kind of running from the mob, so there's plenty of shootouts. And then she winds up turning a couple of the gangsters, or she winds up turning one of the head gangsters into a vampire. And he eventually catches on that he's a vampire, and then he starts biting other gangsters to make them vampires. And it's just this whole like zany, it is comedic, but it's not like slapstick stupid comedic. It's just like situationally funny a lot of the times, and it's just super fucking enjoyable. And one of my favorite things about the movie is the casting of the lead vampire, who is very soft-spoken. She has like a light accent, and then there's this great contrast within the character of like she's so kind of meek-mannered and whatnot, and then when she lures the people to eat, she does have a conscience, by the way. Like, she's not just like killing random people to do it. She tries to find like people that deserve it, basically, and she'll wait as long as she can to find one. But she so the contrast in the character is that she is kind of mild and meek-mannered, and then like when she goes to attack, like it's super like feral. Like her eyes are bulged out, and she's got like red contacts in, and it is like super violent. Like it's not, just a little bit of bite on the neck, a little bit of blood dripping. Like she fucking tears their throats out and goes to fucking town on them, and it's just super. I just love the contrast that her kills are so violent, but when she's just talking and walking around, it's like polar opposites, and it's just great. Everything to me in this is like perfectly executed. To me, the movie is a 5 out of 5. Like it's fantastic from beginning to end. There's not another vampire flick like it. It definitely stands alone. And I hate that it took so long for me to watch it, but I'm glad I got to watch it during like this time when we're doing the 31 days. It's always great to throw a classic in there that you never seen and really just kind of sit back and enjoy it. And this one was a home run. I'm glad I waited till the last week to watch it. That's definitely one of the good ways to end out the thing. But yeah, have you seen Innocent Blood? Have you not, Android?
I have seen Innocent Blood, and I like it. It's fun. It's John Landis-y. It's
Yeah, if you like John Landis, you like it. And it's got a shitload of people in it. It's got like Chaz Palminteri's in it, Angela Bassett's in it.
Right.
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, she plays the police chief. Then you got cameos.
Robert Loggia
and Kim, what's his name? Kim Coates.
Yeah, it's basically it's like.
And then you got Dario Argento, Tom Savini.
Oh man,
fucking everybody's in it.
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles is in it. It's crazy. Like everybody's in it.
Who's not in it?
It's just enjoyable, man. If you haven't seen it, fucking see it. It's great.
Innocent Blood. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then my last film
Uh-oh.
will be a film called Hollowgate from 1987. So this is it starts off so weird. Like, you just don't know what the fuck you're going to get. And I still don't know what the opening scene actually had to do with anything else in the fucking movie. But it like opens up at like a Halloween party. And, you know, it's a typical 80s Halloween party with kids. And it's got this grandmother trying to like talk. She's trying to get the kids excited at the birthday party or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, where's Timmy?" And Timmy's in the other room because he hates Halloween. So his drunk dad that's sitting there sipping on peach schnapps, fucking throws him in there. He's like, "Go have fun, boy." And then he's like, "Oh, I wish I could live with you, Grandma. Dad's so mean, blah, blah, blah." And you're like, all right, cool. And that's the end of that whole scene. And it just goes to some kids making out in costumes on the graveyard. And they go get gas to fuck with a kid at school that they know. Like, let's go fuck with him. So they go to the gas station so he can pump the gas. And then he starts like making out with the girl and like taking her top off and taking her underwear off to like tease him. And then that dude that works at the gas station blows up the fucking car and kills both of them. And you're like, what the fuck? And then it flash forwards to another group of kids that are in a van trying to go to some Halloween party. They stop at a costume shop, and this guy's like, "Hey, I got a delivery that needs made. Can you guys make it? My delivery guy quit. I'll throw in your costumes for free if you just deliver this package to this house." And they find out it's like a mansion, and like, hell yeah, we'll drop it off at this mansion. And so they go to the mansion, they drop this package of Halloween gifts off, and the guy's like, "Hey, come on in." And so they go in, and then the dude that owns the house proceeds to dress in every costume that they brought there and kill every one of them in a different costume for the rest of the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, he dresses up, and he's got like these super shitty like comedic lines. Like he dressed up as like a army guy and said some stupid army phrase and killed a dude. Then he dressed up as a sheriff. Then he dressed up as like an equestrian person as he sent dogs to go eat them. It's just fucking. It kind of makes you want to watch like Night of the Demons, right? Because it's kind of a similar concept minus the costume changes. But it's acted pretty poorly. If I didn't look it up, but I think it's the same guy that made Terror at 10 Killer, which is another. They're shot both of those were shot in Oklahoma around the same time, so I would assume it was probably the same guy. But somebody else can look that up. I'm not looking that up. There is some good gore in it from time to time, though. But it's just like you scratch your head so much, like what the fuck? Like it's a perfect candidate to be on Cemetery Gates normally. Like we would have had a lot of fun talking about this one. Maybe we'll throw it on at some point. But it is. Like, it's just so fucking cheesy. Like, there's one scene where they're, like, running across the field one at a time for whatever reasons. And then, like, the last girl's got to come across. And then here comes the killer on this giant, like, plow machine. And she just stops. And they show him on the plow machine going, like, 2 miles an hour. And she's just stopped staring at it for, like, 4 minutes. Like, why are you not running? You can outrun this thing. What the fuck are you doing? And the guys over there, like, jumping up and down, telling her, come on, come on. And then, like, the killer gets close enough, and then he shoots her with a gun and then runs her over and kills her. But it's like, what the fuck? And, of course, he says some pun on arresting people. Like, it's just fucking, it's so bad. However, with all that said, I still think it's fun as shit. Still really fun. You can't really get a great transfer of it. It's on YouTube, but it's awful. Like the sound is awful. Like it's an awful rip of it, but it's nowhere else. It's never been on DVD. There's probably a handful of VHS copies out there. I couldn't find any on eBay because I looked out of curiosity. So it's really just not that accessible. However, if it got cleaned up a little bit, I mean, maybe more some of those smaller distributors would throw it out there. But Hollow Gate is a 3 out of 5 for me. There's just not. It's just if I had a different copy, maybe, but it's definitely cheesy. Like it has that 80s cheese, 100%. But it's just a little more low budget, a little more shot on video style than like a Night of the Demons or something like that.
Those shot on video 80s movies come out, it definitely does take away a little bit because you really know that you're watching a pretty low budget movie.
Well, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. Like you're like, okay, this looks like someone just handheld. And they're like, oh well, this shot looks a little better. It's like they use 2 different cameras. I don't know, or is it just a shitty fucking transfer?
Who knows?
But it's still, I think it was enjoyable. There's a lot of really terrible, like quotable, stupid fucking lines in it, which was awesome.
Well, I applaud you, sir, for finishing up your 31 Days of Horror. And to help us round out this, Heather with her last 2.
All right. So it's funny because one of you gentlemen mentioned this movie earlier. And it was a first time watch for me. And it is Hostel from 2005. And I missed this bad boy in 2005.
It is a bad boy.
And I saw Hostel Part 2, which I do prefer to this one. Yeah, it was like a porn for the first 30 minutes, which, I enjoyed seeing the beautiful young ladies and the handsome young men, and they were all having themselves a lot of sex, and that was great. That went on for literally 30 minutes of the movie. And then it kind of just got to some torture stuff, which, for 2005 was okay. But the characters are so unlikable. Like, I don't know how you guys felt, but I was kind of like, man, I don't give a shit about any of these.
Yeah, they all suck. You're like, y'all are fucking shitty. Bye-bye.
And they're just over the top. Like, the main guy that survives at the end and does his, like, noble thing and goes back for...
Yeah.
Like, even him, I was like, nah, he's kind of shit. Like...
Yeah, well, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Yeah, Jay Hernandez. Yeah.
Oh, is that who it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, like, I mean, I never... just a mainstream movie like Hostel, right? Like, is mainstream as horror, right? Big theater, big budget. Like, the surviving whatever is like Hispanic Chicano male. Like, we never get that in movies. So
that is true. Credit to that. Absolutely. And when this came out in 2005, like, I was talking to my co-host of my other podcast, and he saw it in the theaters, and he's like, honestly, Heather, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Like, of the gore, the sex. I'm like, that's true. I'm watching it 15 years later and so desensitized.
Yeah.
Like, the shit you can watch now makes Hostel look like a Disney, not a Disney film.
Yeah,
like, it's nowhere close, right?
Yeah, I remember the same. For me, it was the same. It was like, we got out there, like, did they really just show that? I didn't expect them to show that. I was like, AMC let that happen? All right, cool.
Like, and I can see why a lot of young men straight heterosexual men would have enjoyed this movie. I even enjoyed all the beautiful people that were in it. It was great. But yeah, you know what? Like, I think it's a piece of film history. I think there's just certain movies out there that just changed the genre, and I do feel Hostel did that back in 2005, and I wish I had seen it then. Yeah, and I think it would have had more of an impact for me. Yeah. I did give it a 2.5 out of 5, but some respect.
Yeah. No, it definitely triggered. I mean, not that it was the first, like, torture porn film, but it was the one that catapulted the genre to explode.
Well, and it was mainstream, right? Everyone knew about it. And it was using this idea of backpacking. And it still stays with me. I work at a university, and one of my younger colleagues was like, oh, I'm going to go to Europe, and I'm going to stay in a hostel. And I was like, are you sure that's a good idea? And all I could think was fucking hostel movies, right? Like,
yeah, I always think of those shitty kids. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking Estonia, or wherever the hell they were.
Right? Like,
yeah, it's scary.
Right? So, I think that it just played on a great fear. It's like how you see a lot of Airbnb movies coming out now. I think are Uber movies. Like, I just think that's just very, part of the cultural norms, right? So I think that's clever.
The Bone Collector, the original Uber movie.
Yes! You know what? That's a really good point.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we should do a podcast on that. I'll come back.
On the Bone Collector?
I've already invited myself back for that.
Yeah.
I'll talk.
I'm down. It's a date. It's a date.
And then the final one I want to talk about is actually a Canadian film, and it's called Grave Encounters. It's a found footage film.
That's one of my other favorite ones.
See,
yes.
Sister and I We're on the same page, except for the Babadook.
I love this one. I love this one. But carry on.
Yeah. Well, it's great. You can talk about it too.
I will.
I wasn't sure what to expect. You know, it's one of those, we're ghost hunters and we have a show, and I always find that shit really stupid.
Yeah.
But from the start, I was like, nah, I really like this main character, and they did a great job of the build-up of, like, oh, they're doing all the back work. So, Android, they're going around this, like, haunted old hospital or asylum, right? And they're outside, and the gardener had just started working there, and he's like, hey, have you seen anything creepy happen? And the gardener's like, no, I just started. So he gives him $20 off camera, and it's like, can you just make up something that you saw a fucking ghost or something? And he like makes up the story. It's really funny. So they set it up that they're basically a hoax, right? That they're just trying to kind of gear and set the stage and make things really creepy. And then the night goes fucking haywire. And these demons do not hold back, or ghosts, or whatever the fuck they are. And shit gets real. They end up not getting out of the asylum, getting basically stuck in this maze and in this, like, second dimension. And it's fucked up. I don't know, Sandra, did you want to add something? Since you love it?
Oh no, I loved how they played it, like that slightly comedic aspect at the beginning. Like you get these little jokes here and there about how like goofy they are, and I love the pacing is fantastic on it. I think where it goes from like, okay, it's lighthearted, kind of silly, but not too silly, and then it's like okay, and then you start hitting that downslope, and I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Like it goes down that slope, you're dropping.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. I think it's great. A lot of people criticized the whole wristband kind of thing and said that was stupid. I was like, well, fucking guys, that didn't bother me at all with the whole wristbands, if you remember that scene.
No, I don't remember that one.
So he's like, he's got like, he eventually gets like a checked into the hospital wristband or some shit.
Oh, that where they all wake up at the... I thought that was creepy.
Yeah,
I thought it was
people were like, "Oh, it's so stupid and
on.
cheesy." I'm like, "No, whatever." So people are just hating on it, I think. But yeah, I think it's fantastic.
And Android, what we're talking about is these people pass out from exhaustion because they're basically stuck in this asylum or hospital. They can't get out, and they wake up and they have patient wristbands on. So whatever entity is there has put bracelets on them, indicating that they're being committed. So it just adds to the mythology that they're never going to get out of this fucking haunted place.
I feel like I've seen this, but I forgot.
Yeah, and I love the long trek at the end, and I'm sure Heather. I think that to me that's like pretty. Ooh.
Can I just say I'm a huge sucker for ghost shows.
Then you would like this. You'd like this.
Me and my wife are like big time suckers for ghost hunting shows.
You should watch Ghost Killers vs. Bloody Mary. That's the
I
best
love
Ghost Killers.
Dude, I love Ghost Adventures. Like I'll admit it. Like
so I have pictures with all the Taps guys.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've met them a bunch of times. Well, like three different times. Steve and all those.
They're all broken up though now.
Yeah, Steve still does the rounds though.
Sanders going to be the most famous person I meet when I go to visit him.
There you go.
Yay!
So am I. I had
when I come visit him.
my friend Mona came by for my birthday yesterday, and she watches Android Vision, and I was like, "You want to see?" Oh, thank you. And she goes, "You want to?" Thank you. She goes, "You want to see where the magic happens?" And she's like, "I really thought you shot this in the back of an RV." And I was like, "What?" It's like, you really thought I shot this in the back of an RV?
Hey man, production win. That's a production win.
It's all smoke and mirrors, girl. Like I just had to tell her, it was so fucking funny, dude. It was great.
Yeah, that's it. I recommend it. And the sequel was okay.
I didn't care for the sequel.
The second and third act I enjoyed, but the first one for sure.
Yeah, this is the same guy that did the Stains the Sand Red. Colin Minahan. He's got another film coming up. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll look it up.
Well, very cool, guys. Thank you, Miss Heather, for helping us round this month out. And this crazy marathon adventure that Xander and I have done all month.
Yeah.
I am going to just kind of go real quick about my heavy hitters, because I have my list here for, I would consider my heavy hitters, my ones to recommend. 1970s Equinox. Loved it.
I bought it. I bought the Criterion collection of it.
Beautiful. 1971, I would definitely do Straw Dogs. From 1972, Gargoyles. 1973, Sugar Hill. 74, nothing really in that year that I cared for. 75, we'll have to go with probably Race with the Devil. And kind of rounding out this list, I would have to go with Eaten Alive, which was a shocker for me. Really fucking out there fucking film. And kind of going up the list, we would definitely have to go Blue Sunshine and Prophecy for the win. So
For the win.
For the win. So that's my list of recommended horror 70s movies off this 31 horror movie list I have. So
Nice.
All right, guys. So anything else you guys got?
That's it for me.
No, I can show off some that I reckon my favorite ones. I guess I can do that real quick too.
Okay.
Obviously, Ghost Killers vs. Bloody Mary was damn good fun. Then I also love Dark Water, the 2002 version of Dark Water. The Japanese version was fantastic. And then, of course, some of the ones we talked about today, Nori the Curse and Innocent Blood, hands down, amazing. And I'll just leave the list. Oh, and Winter Skin, I think, is super cool. And it's a low-budget flick that people should give a shot. So
Beautiful. And Miss Heather Powell is our winner for the month as well. We appreciate her.
Aw, thanks, guys.
no thanks for coming back.
Yeah, it's always fun.
We got to give a shout out to Miss Mona for helping us out.
Yeah, that was nice. We had Mona kick it off, and we got Heather closing it. So we got the bookends.
That's it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Maybe we'll see you in a month or so. I don't know. Whatever we fucking decide.
I'm going to 50 movies for the month, so I'm already at 44. So I'm hitting 50. And just a fun fact, I did hit 15 different countries this year. We got Australia, Ireland, Brazil, Italy, UK, US, Japan, Belgium, Laos, Indonesia, France, Sweden, Russia, Canada, and Mexico.
Well, you're a regular cocksmith.
Yeah.
COVID didn't hold him back from traveling.
That's right. On that note, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks, Heather, for coming on, and we will see you guys on the flip.
Bye.
Good night. Happy Halloween.
You've been listening to the Cemetery Gates podcast, featuring Android Virus and Xander Kane. Follow us on Twitter at Android Virus, at Xander_Kane, and at Cemetery Gates 66.